Peace, what's going on out there? Good afternoon. This is E Props, aka the Black President, with a new episode entitled Idi N'amean. Yeah, from broadcasting live from Palm Beach County, Florida, aka Loca Hachi. A lot of things been going on. As usual, just want to weigh in as we strive to maintain some sort of consistency in terms of our output. But as usual, circumstances, because we don't just sit here all day and do this. This is buffered by real life activity, which we, of course, don't hesitate to delineate. Now, how do we begin? Let's start with the title. And as usual, I have my notes. Sorry to anybody who, we like to go off the top, or we also have writtens too. You should know that. We nice with the pen. And we also have our books, which have all the answers to whatever questions, just our specific books that we will reference if we have something specific that we're talking about. Because again, we don't just talk to talk. We give references in addition to real life examples of what we're saying. So as we begin, how do we begin? Well, first, we did record an episode a few weeks ago about, 2 weeks ago, in fact, with the same title, Idi N'amean. And unfortunately, the audio was off. So let's make sure the audio is on now. Let me see. Let me see. This is real over here. The audio is on, so we'll keep going. It was a great episode too, if I must say so myself. Very aligned. And as a matter of fact, it was as soon as I dropped it, President Trump announced the ceasefire of the Israel-Iran conflict, which we're glad for. Of course, we don't want war. And of course, we want to shout out to the people who suffered in that tragedy in Texas and everywhere. We don't love peace. We don't say we don't love peace. That didn't, we want peace, and we abhor all tragedies. So we want to say thank you for the ceasefire. Also the ceasefire in the Congo and Rwanda. Give thanks for that also. And yeah, exactly. We're now, so we had the title Idi N'amean. But as usual, one of my tenets in life is that I try to, it could be a psychological tactic also, is that we don't look at mishaps. We do look at mishaps because we are human, but we always try to find the bright spot or look forward to the underlying reason things occur. And as usual, for this, what happened is that whatever I was speaking at that time, just more things for me to add on to the build. And we wanted to speak yesterday also, July 7th, 2025, 777. Depending on how you observe that numerologically, 2 and 5 is 7. So we wanted to tell everybody, all the haters out there, F you, 7 fois, 77 fois, and all of the people on the occasion of the 4th anniversary of the death of President Jovenel Moïse, that also. But again, wanted to be careful with that because and we'll tell you why. So we wanted to do that yesterday, but we were working on some other things. And today's a good day too because we building while we destroy, and we're here to show and prove that we destroyed and rebuilt, which is what we've been doing. So this will be a good day to manifest that. This is always a tricky week for me. Now that I see the week after, and I hope everybody had a great 4th of July weekend also. But yeah, we wanted to call it Idi N'amean then, and just things just accelerated to add on. But one of the reasons why we wanted to call that also, and just so you see my casual wear, it says game to the last, and it is polo too, got the polo athletic wear on as we stay active in all ways. But as I like to point out to people is that my books speak to me. Definitely feel like a divine hand, caused me to pick certain books and keep certain books because I've had so many books, lost so many, but the ones I've kept, they speak to me. And so really what happened, I wanted to call it the episode. What happened was I was watching the military parade, and now we're 6 months, I don't know if I mentioned that, we're 6 months into the presidency of Donald Trump 2.0. And this is an occasion to speak to because I am the first person to, I wouldn't say endorse Trump, but explore the possibility that now everybody wants to jump. Not everybody, let me not say that, but we will speak on how somewhat, if I use that word somewhat, that's a Haitian term, means no shame. It's a lot of somewhats out there who want to act like they were always the ones speaking, but they can't, which is what we'll show. We'll show technically, you're just talking. It's just, the hip-hop world, and people just talk like they know. They don't. This is buffered with, again, expertise, years of study, trial and error. And again, we didn't do this for other people who sat there and watched CNN and then all of a sudden say, wake up one day when they were with Caitlyn Jenner and then the next day they were with Donald Trump. You see how that turned out for your boy, right? But so we were looking at the military parade that was on June 14th, I believe it was. And it was interesting to me that it was sponsored by UFC. Not interesting, I saw that. And then so after that, I said, you know what, I have a magazine that's a military issue UFC. So I pulled it out, and this is it right here. See this? And it said UFC 360. So that's what I wanted to call it because that's what I feel like. I feel like I know that. And it says the fight. And this right here, I want to say this. Shout out to my uncle who was in the Army. This is his, I think it's his death certificate that I got a copy of. It's not open, This right here. He was a good friend of mine. But, so I looked at the issue. I was like, that's L. I should call it UFC 360. That's how I feel because I feel as if I know that my way of fighting is complete now. As far as my development, I feel like I've reached a new level as far as my development, my skill set, etc. And that's how I felt. Like I'm 360. It's complete. My style. If I was a UFC, I am a martial artist, but as a UFC, it's like if you're a UFC fighter, you got the jab, you got the boxing now with the grappling and the Muay Thai, and that's how I feel. But for me, and that's a basis of it too. I feel, as a hip hop artist, practitioner, and as the premier black and hip hop scholar in the world, period, on all aspects, it's 360 degrees with that. meaning I'm a scholar, I'm an artist, activist, entrepreneur. And ironically, becoming a martial artist was the last element that I added. And not lately, with the election of Trump, ironically, even my understanding of martial arts has elevated in terms of as to how philosophically, because we all know martial arts has a philosophical component, like Bruce Lee, etc. But then that with the connection to the African world, the African martial arts, that I made that connection. That connection is complete. And I did that through the perception of the cycles of Chinese astrology, which are, they have a few, it's a few interactions. They have a 12-year cycle where each year they have 12 animals, which denote every 12. So your year could be this year, which this year is my year of the snake. And then my next year will be 12 in 12 years. But it also interacts with 5 elements. I think it's wood, fire, etc., metal. And then they also have another cycle, which is 60 years. So that perception was really clear, it came to the forefront. See, that's what happens. When you study, you can study, but then your experiences kind of cause you to bring what you know to the forefront and make it more accessible. So that's what I say is 360, that whole completion. Martial arts is a release to African culture, because if you check out Chinese culture, it's very similar to ancient Kemet, as far as the hieroglyphics, the use of Chinese, I forget what they call Chinese writing. It's visual. It's a perceptive visual thing. And, the concept of the Tao, which is Ma. And that's something that I didn't really, when I started martial arts, I looked for Africa. That was the process too. When I started becoming a martial artist, I didn't know that there were black people who were martial artists. But over time I did, beginning with capoeira, and then actually looking for a Haitian one and then finding it, which is machete, which is where you get the Eddie machete, which ironically, I used to play with my machete. I had a machete, but I didn't even know that Haitians had a machete martial art till recently. So that's what, it's that development that I call 360, but that's just one element. That's the martial art element, and then there's the technological element. And it all have combined to create this ultimate fighting style. And why I would say fighting, because if you didn't know, the biggest fight is not with anybody, but with yourself, and establishing your greatest person or persona. And that's how I felt. So that's why we called it UFC 360. And also too, speaking on the cycles, speaking of that perception of Chinese cycles and how it's 12 years, that I saw how that related to how I really began martial arts about 25 years ago, which would be 12-year cycles, if you think about it. And how even since then, my even on not even on a spirit, on a practical level, my political perception has developed since then. Since I started martial arts like 2000, same time as what? The 2000 election, right? So I'm looking at myself in the 12-year cycle from 2001 to 2013, and this is from when? 2013. And I look at from 2013 to 2025. And then I see, oh wait, there is a correlation to that, the 12-year cycles. And I'm looking at it based on a political perspective. Even a 60-year cycle. If we think this is a completion of a 60-year cycle, we can think about how in American history in the 1960s, all the turmoil we just went through, very similar. 1965, 2025. you know? And this perception of these cycles will make us not repeat mistakes. And I think that because some, and people who perceive cycles, and we all live through cycles, whether we know it or not. The sun, waking up in the sun every morning is a cycle. Life is a cycle. Puberty, whatever. Like, we can't get around it. So your perception of cycles is for even the presidential cycles, right? 4 years. People's perception of cycles dictates their actions, right? That's why we wanted to call it UFC 360, and that's how we feel. We feel like we're at a complete level right now as far as pretty much what we wanted to do about 25 years ago, in 2000 really. In the year 2000, what I wanted to do, I said, yo, this is what I want to do. And I went through it, and then now I feel like I'm complete. I feel like I did it. And that's really part of what it is too. It's the fact that, perception, you see, perception is reality. That's why you have to be very careful of what you perceive. And be careful that people's perception of you doesn't create your reality. And that's really what I'm doing now, especially as far as everything right now for me. Specifically as far as politics, Specifically as far as politics. And again, what I've said, because like I said in my last episode, I've been called, and I've been saying for how long, being consistently attacked by the people around me, including my family members, mother, father, calling you crazy or what have you, this. And then now to see things like literally change to what I said, and to see them almost not wanting to admit it. And I'm not having that at all. I don't care. I'm gonna be like, wait, what? Oh, you remember you told me I was crazy? Oh, that's just how I gotta go. So that's the impetus of why I'm speaking also, to make perfect clear to people like, oh no, the dude you said was crazy. And on some hip hop shit, like, yo, I'm not finna let you bite my style that I bled for, that I fought for, that I suffered for, that I went to the library for, where your bum ass was lazy doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nah, come on. So we're gonna go in the process of illustrating that with examples, because that's how we do. And the Idi, let's start with that. Now I'm a person who, again, I grew up in a family with, my uncle. I have 2 uncles who were in the military. My godmother was in the military. If you know Haitian society is very militaristic, right? And so, consciously and unconsciously, I adapted some of it. Some of it I unconsciously, some of it I consciously said, yo, let me. And again, that is on another, even on the military level of America, United States of America, it's like I train myself. I can have a discussion with any military type of military person in the Army or whatever. People in the Army think I'm in the Army all the time. People call me sir. I'm like, who are you talking to? People like, yo, sir. I'm like, oh, it's all good. And that's not just an American tradition. That's people. That's why Idi N'amean. And you get a lot, and Africans, come on, people be militaristic, say Shaka Zulu, right? So Idi N'amean, if you know Idi N'amean, he was a member of the King's African Rifles, which was part of the British colonial army. And then he eventually became dictator of president of Uganda. And why I call myself Idi N'amean is because of, in hip hop, like, because of the way that, which we'll discuss, when I say they, the hip hop Ku Klux Klan, what I refer to them, have kind of try to mute my voice on some anti-black racist shit, anti-black Haitian racist shit, and player hating. What they've done is just make my voice more dictatorial, because my voice is now like, when I talk, they know I know what I'm talking about because I actually been through it. This ain't the music industry. All that hip hop is a culture shit, blah blah blah. I'm a native New Yorker. I'm from New York. A hip hop, it's just, you know, my credentials. Like, again, you talking. Like, I get, like the other day in the examples, and it took me moving here to Florida. I've been here, Palm Beach, for 9 years. We'll talk, that made it even worse. When I tell the stories about being here, they're gonna be like, well, that's that. But while you're wherever you are, sitting behind your computer, not to diss, but you have 1,000 episodes, you never been outside. Who are you talking to? Who? That's why we know the little homies now. The little homies could talk to me. The kids, you know why? Because I've been a teacher. I'm out. They see me outside. Why? And you feel like you. And that's the arrogance of hip hop too. That you're making me like that too. Because people looking like, what are you talking about? Like, and that's why that's just better for me. And I'm gonna give examples of how that's occurring, of how people's arrogance and insistence of wanting to perpetuate their political ideology through hip hop is making them look crazy and making me more. And even if it's in a bad way, what you try to paint me, and that's not gonna work either. Paint me as some type of, again, African dictator, Papa Doc, killing everybody. Oh my God, he killed I don't have, you know, like, or because I'm passionate, I'm emo, or we're gonna be killing all of that. All of that's gonna get killed. But the irony of that, again, when I say Idi N'amean, everything I say, like I said, I back everything up with what I say. Idi N'amean was also played in, you know, a movie called, if you ever see it, it's called The Last King of Scotland. Let me see it, put it like that. Let me see it, man. The Last King of Scotland, starring Forrest Whitaker, which I saw in New York in the year 2007. Interesting story in that too, but we won't talk about that. So I saw that movie on 42nd Street, Idi N'amean, Last King of Scotland. And again, it's ironic too, because to add on to that, the person who won the New York mayor's race, Mamdani, he's from Uganda, and his circumstance or history has created me as his opposite, which is what I am. And his creation is the verification of so many things that I've said, including anti-black, Haitian, racism, combined with professional player hating. That's why I call myself Idi N'amean. I wanted to also call it Supreme Polymathematics too, even though I'm not a member of the Nation of Gods and the Earth. I don't beg being members of anything. You know? That's what happened. You try to be down with something and people will call you an affiliate. But a polymath is something that is someone who is able to see different topics and differing issues and see connections in them. Not just topics, disciplines, physics and music and technology and art. And that's why I call it Supreme Polymathematics. So you're a polymath. They say Da Vinci was a polymath, Benjamin Franklin, and I believe I'm one. So I wanted to also call it Supreme Polymathematics, you know? Because when it comes, again, like I said, I'm the premier black, and when I say black, I don't mean just in skin tone, I mean in the study of black culture, black everything, culture, politics, culture, economics, law, technology, music, number one. And then as it relates to hip hop, which we'll discuss, which we want to discuss. So we wanted to call it that. Right? Now, forgive me, I'll tell you. And I want to say this, yo, you guys out there, you guys gotta stop biting my style, bro. Stop biting my style. Stop acting like you drink wa boire de l'eau, comme si m'pas connaissais parce que wa boire de l'eau, hein? Nous sommes want, but it's all good. Bon petit coup de clou là. Now, before I continue, let me give a couple of shout outs. I want to give a shout out to Shannon, always supporting my writing. I want to give a shout out to Kev Brown. And I'm gonna do this too because again, and we're gonna get into this issue of Haitian, blah, 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 because like I'm saying, my plight has been a simultaneous plight of anti-black Haitian racism and anti-Americanism, which is so crazy, right? So the Haitians, they hate me because I'm on some black nationalist shit, and I'm American. Not just the Haitians, but all these Hispanic. Yeah, of course. This is real. I'm going to show you Mom Donnie's the perfect example. Now, first, let me give the shout out. Let me get into that. So I want to give a shout out to some of my African American friends, which I always had, and who I know follow me, and who I know they'd like to hear my opinion on certain topics, but they don't get to. And why? Because, like I said, because the people who know me, who should give me a platform, they don't. And you can say, oh, I don't deserve it. That's good. So I don't deserve to not expose your fucking racism. And I'm not here to be, yeah. Excuse me. And I'm not here to be exploited. Like I said. So I'm doing all this work for you to steal and then hate on me? What is this, slavery? I'm not a slave. And this dovetails directly into President Jovenel Moïse Haiti being killed. Same thing. So let me finish the shout outs. Exactly. So these are people who would want to hear what I have to say because they know me. I was born here in the United States of America, in New York City. For a lot of people, I'm the only Haitian person they do know. A lot of the Haitians who born in Haiti, who live in New York or whoever, they congregate together. They were all in the same ESL. They were all in the same this class. They were all in the same that class. Me, I was by myself across the street from Barragate Projects at PS 307 named Eddie Petit, nigga. In 1985. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. So shout out to Shannon, Kev Brown, my boy. First person ever to show or act like I was nice on the microphone when I was young. Shout out to him. Shout out to Anaya, who I just reconnected with, went to college with me from Brooklyn. Now a great realtor, among other things. Still looking beautiful. She was the first person not the first person, but I remember when I spoke to her when I was developing the concept of is hip hop an African religion. That should show you right there. How does the person who come up with the concept of is hip hop an African religion never have a platform? You think it's because people don't know me? How? I did major conferences, CUNY Grad Center. Went to Kemet with my own money, though. I paid. With a professor who worked at Medgar Evers Crawford, Clinton Crawford. I'm gonna say your name. I paid that money. You didn't pay. I made your conference wicked. I did conferences like Uncovering Connections with Professor Jay Small, everybody who on his nuts. But why don't they, again, I've said this before, but I'm just showing you. It's hate. It's player hating and anti-black Haitian racism. Because what isn't exposed is the fact that, which I'm going to expose, there's an alliance amongst African Americans, Haitians, or whoever to be in power in Haiti. And probably Jovenel Moïse, president, was threatening that because those same people are in power now in Haiti. And they probably see me as a threat. But see, me, I'm American. So I have to call my African American friends, maybe call some of my other people who know me, and say, yo, this is wrong, because it affects you too. Because while you're looking at me, telling me, because they created, the reason why they could do that, because they've created this mentality of helplessness in the Haitian community, of need in the Haitian community, instead of developing their own. But people think, no, it's them doing that. People here. The Democratic Party, which is what you're seeing now. But who set that off? I did. I'm the one who's been saying that, and we're going to show that here. Now, shout out to Anaya. Like I said, she was the person who, while I was developing that concept, gave me a copy of Beat Street. I think I used it to present at a class at Brooklyn College. Again, Brooklyn College, never been invited back. Why? Because of my political orientation. And you see, that's why I'm confident in speaking too, because I've uncovered all of the bodies. I've done all of the research, and I'm confident in any venue where I could show that all that. See, that again, that's the difference. You see, if you go on my YouTube, you'll see that I brought the smoke to everybody, because while we've had this contention of immigrants and what have you, we had the ICE riots and what have you, and then we have people who are against that, particularly in the African American community, which is warranted but unwarranted. It's just the way they went about it, which is not working for them. Again, this whole insulting people and calling it, that doesn't work anymore. The African American, so-called African American community need to speak that. Because what they don't realize is that everybody talks shit now. Yeah, they following you. Yeah, they following you. So that means, guess what? They all talk shit. They all could diss. The difference is that when they be around you, they diss, they talk shit, and then when they go home, they don't do that. So in front of you, they're gonna be like, yeah, motherfucker, yeah, you ain't shit. And then when they go home, it's like, hola madre. Not for the most part, but what I'm saying, it's not as inculcated in their culture as normal. So all this tether, this, blah, 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 that shit, I stepped up on that. And you could go on my YouTube and say, against all their top scholars, especially all the so-called conscious people who want to call themselves conscious. Because see, I know y'all. And this is a good issue. We're going to talk about this right here, you see, in the wake of the acquittal from conspiracy charges of Sean Puffy Combs. This is a hip-hop magazine, a newspaper from 2004 when Murder Inc. was accused. So you see, that's the difference. I've seen this before. We used to have Jimmy Henchman, but the people who know this newspaper, I know them, and many of these people are the people who purport to be conscious or whatever. And they've been hating on the nigga too, but guess what? It's all good because, oh, who's that, Bambada? That was y'all boy, These are the people who purported, and that's part of the reason why too, because they saw that while they wanted to be deep and talk about hip hop on another level, I was doing the same thing. The same time this magazine came out, again, I was getting my master's in political science. The Brooklyn Nets was announced, and then I did the CUNY Grad Center, Hip Hop is African Religion. As a matter of fact, I wrote an article for this paper, and they like blotted my name. Like, that's what they've been doing. But then guess what? They've been shut. Look how they look with all of the people that they've tried to elevate, like Brother Polite. Now, my point is that I was bringing smoke to the scholars. For example, shout out to Casual from the hieroglyphics. We didn't really have no smoke. But then this dude Reggie, bum ass nigga, he don't know me. How you know? Who are you in hip hop, Reggie? You're nobody. You look like you can't dance. You see, I'm wearing black. I don't have to wear black to be black. That's y'all. Then they had ISUPK, Captain Tazariak, brought him to smoke too. He didn't want none. Then I took on your best scholars, which was Dr. Mott. What's my man's name? The dude who calls himself the God Killer. And then Cologne. This was in the heat of the Who created hip-hop debate. Brought them to smoke. Right? Then it was, according to hip-hop, them dudes, that Rap Genius funded. Brought them to smoke. You can check all, and I'm not even at my best. Then Cam from the West Coast, who thinks that everything revolves around the Nation of Islam and the Quran. But his joint, it was just a fake dude trying to be like Tariq Nasheed, talking, telling jokes. And I sat there patiently because I'm not going to sit there, you know what I'm saying? That's y'all. Again, y'all tell jokes. You talk. That doesn't work anymore. And what happened? Nothing. Waited till the end, pulled out the Sheikh Antidiab just to show you, yo, you a savage. You just talking. You can't tell me nothing if you have an album called Wash Your Ass that started with Jamaican patois. Look what happened with all of that tether and this, dog. Look what happened with Lord Jamar, ran back to Vlad. You talked about Ice. You talked about B1, Beyond Cola. What happened? The game. We need Latin black unity, brown unity. You got shamed because you guys have Hispanic fans. Nipsey Hussle doesn't look black. When we say black, we mean phenotypically and genotypically African. That's what that means. And that's why a lot of African Americans are mad too, because people who are really African, they're here in America. They don't need to bow down, especially not people who are not phenotypically. Nipsey Hussle doesn't look black. He looks like he's from where he's from, Eritrean, but they're not African. They look more Arab. So who does he appeal to? He appeals to those Mexicans, all of them cats out there, like the gang. Those are his fans. You know that. So you trying to put it on our back, like, oh yeah, I'm like, yo, y'all friend. So I took it, and then the final one was the dude, the Black Authority, which is what I brought up. Dude who nobody ever sees, which is who Fat Joe was referring to. And that's the thing too. See, everybody can get the smoke. Because the Hispanics, you're somewhat too. They have no shame. They follow everything black people do. Steal it. Right? And act like they're not watching. And I have examples of that. So he was talking about, when he said foundational black authority, you know, on that Expert Opinion episode that everybody in the uproar, he was talking about this dude named Black Authority who doesn't show his face, super arrogant. You never see his face talking shit. I was just on his show. Now, the reason I'm referring to that show is because somebody on there, again, talk about, oh, nobody knows me. I know, listen, dog. That's the thing when people tell me nobody. If you don't know me, that means nobody, you nobody. I know everybody. Everybody knows me, bro. And if you say you don't know me, I'm going to pull out shit like, yo, I don't know you, but then like, I'll pull this out, for example. How do I look, this is your boy, Hakeem Jeffries, New York State Assemblyman. How do I know him? This is when he was Assemblyman. He's the head of the Democrats right now. He knows me. I knew him ever since they tried to beat up his mom. Yvette Clark. I did neighborhood advisory board for her. She knows me. Eric Adams. Email when I sent to him asking him for a job. He knows me. But see, that's why New York, we're going to get into this. That's why New York is fucked up. I hate to use right now. Because you all tried to diss me, not provide me with opportunity. Because that's how it works. You get a job, you move up. But because you saw me as a threat, and it was just player hating. Because you all want to be on some hip hop shit. You all. Everybody. And I'm the real deal. Props, how are you the real deal? I'm the real deal because I went to the #1 high school in New York. #1 because you had to take a test, right? That's one thing. But while they literally invented the hip hop studies, it didn't even exist. I say that a lot. The books didn't even exist as far as hip hop back then. Brooklyn Public Library, until I started requesting them. As a matter of fact, the first book, I don't know if I got that shit right. Do I have that? I ain't even got that right now. The first book is called The Hip Hop Vision. Not the first book. They have books already. One called Rap Attack. Not many, I'm sure. Books, articles, not that many. But it was a developing, it wasn't, they barely played hip hop on the radio, so you think that shit was in the schools? Nah. It had a bad stereotype, which is what's going on now, even in my own crib. Like, they know, it's even worse because not only am I a hip hop dude, I'm a Haitian hip hop dude. That means that, like, it's double fucked up. It's like, I'm what people hated, doing what people hated at a higher level, at the highest level. So I'm going to the school, scholarly, and then I'm taking so I was there, so it's like I was there, and so I wrote this on Facebook the other day. I was there when the World Trade blew up. The first time, it was by the school, was there. Then I took the train to my grandmother's house, and I got off at the train stop where Juicy was filmed because it was in Biggie's neighborhood. That's credentials you can't buy. You wish you was that. And I've been hated I had to leave New York to see that. Like, oh, no wonder y'all hate, because I'm the real deal. But I'm not having that. That's why they hate Puff Daddy too. That's why I relate to him on that level. People just hate him because they can't do, because when he was doing that shit, they couldn't do it. They had to stand outside. It's like people walking past your bum ass cipher. So I'm saying all this to say, and to say, like, so when I'm on the show, dude is like, yo, you like Little Richard saying what you did. Nigga, I'm not Little Richard, dog. I'm not singing Tutti Frutti. I'm saying I could do my new shit right now. I got new shit, and I've never done my old shit. I got more shit right. I'm not living in the past. I'm living right now. I'm just showing how you saw one, shame. And this is why the Democratic Party's in shambles, period. You're thieves and you're player haters. How is it, listen, this logically, and it's funny, it's on the paper right now. Today, Cuomo fighting with Adams, one telling the other to drop out because of Mamdani. But they shouldn't have even been a Mamdani. How? Listen, again, he went to the second best specialized high school. He's an immigrant, number one. That's not a diss, but I'm a native New Yorker. Born and raised. Lived across the street from Prospect Park. Grandparents had a house in the middle of Brooklyn for years that they sold to build a stadium. I got my own name. And my family has a name. People in my family, people know them. Working class, middle, whatever. Real New Yorker. Went to Stuyvesant High School. Was rapping there. I had history before that. Majored in black studies like this dude Mamdani. At Brooklyn College, a city university. And I'm a rapper. This dude majored in the same as me. But he won the Democratic primary and I didn't. And you guys could in the Democratic Party. Now we can look at it two ways as far as, because again, I had a strategy. I did. But regardless of what my strategy, Democrat, Republican, it should have been New York first. But no, you wanted to hate, including Adams. Adams first. All of them. The whole black political establishment. All of them. Sorry. From Sharpton to Adams to Daughtry to Barron, everyone. And then the hip hop. That's why that's why, to the point where, right, the other day, because of Mamdani. So again, I had a strategy, and that's what I'm saying, the strategy is here. And this is why the Democratic Party's in shambles, because y'all hate it. And you keep trying to say you trying to say that. You can't. That's your excuse. Oh, we don't know. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. She not even letting me finish my shout out. But before I go on, let me finish my shout out. Let me gather the point before I continue the shout outs. The Democratic Party hating. Now, I finished with Anaya. Now, I'll dovetail. Even next shout out to Najla. Shout out to Najla. And that's the difference. Najla's from the sty. Went to college with me. Was always positive. She's a black, again. And it's not just, I put this on African Americans too, and the Haitian Americans, both. Like I said, it's a combination. The African Americans hating because a nigga Haitian, the Haitian niggas is hating because I'm American. Like I said, I went to school with African Americans. Even before, when I went to school, it was people from the sty. The trick about it is that if I grew up and then my name is Eddie Petit, and then they say, oh, you not really being Haitian, right? And then now African Americans want to be like, oh, everybody want to be Haitian to delineate. Y'all did that. That's the first thing. African Americans, what's so-called. And then this whole thing about your arguments about people leaving. You're so stupid. You've been leaving. How did Liberia get formed? And what about, I forget his name, the person who established the Episcopal Church in Haiti was African American. There have been so many movements of African Americans in the 40s and the 30s. I think his name is James Theodore Holly, who wanted to leave here in the 1840s. So this thing about, the Haitians wanted to leave, that's you're just trying to create a narrative which fits your race hustle. It's not true. And then the thing about people saying, oh yeah, but we built, what we? That's the thing too. How you telling me we, and you can't even stay in the sun for 2 minutes. What the hell did you build? You can't pick nothing? You didn't pick no cotton? You didn't build nothing? You know what? And it's so funny too, that's the difference between me and y'all, right? Again, you give the little Richard, and it's not even like reparations. You talking about reparations, right? When I say you, so-called African American, you could talk about anybody, right? That's what was the funniest thing. People talking about things 400 years ago, right? Whatever. We did this, we did that, we did this. Have nothing to show what you built since then. If you don't have nothing to show built, then that's the first. Me, I'm pointing to something. I could say the address. Yo, they stole from me. 550 Vanderbilt Avenue, Pacific Park, 20 years ago. And even in my own family, I had my godmother tell me, oh, why are you still talking about that? What the fuck you talking about? This shit is right here. I'm not talking about ancient history. You niggas is talking about ancient history as far as politics. I'm talking about, nigga, 20 years ago, these niggas stole my shit. 550 Pacific, right there, motherfucker. Word. Yeah. So Nas was, but see, that's the thing too. And I was always, and then and that's why too, I always was, and I realized this too, as far as, there is a spirit. Let's let me see, where I put that? This is a good one. Let me see, damn. Oh man, see, this way, here we go, yeah. Let's pull this out. Look, see, that nigga, see, good segue right here. Like I said, I'm the premier black and hip hop scholar in the world. I've been doing this. This dude, what's his name? Johnson. He was looking like an Arab with his beard. No comparison. I seen him doing Tupac. He couldn't keep up at all. The other one, talking trash. All you got is jokes, talking shit. You have an album called Wash Your Ass, and you started it by rapping in Jamaican patois. Stop, bro. Niggas ain't fucking with this. But anyway. Oh, yeah, let me give my shout out. So shout out to Najla, too, because, again, my school, Brooklyn College, again, I went to Brooklyn College, studied in that, and they were hating, too. Because the development of the philosophy of hip-hop as Africa is a revolutionary one. So the black, they mad. Like, oh. But see, that's how I'm mad. Because I'm like, yo, for how the Bed-Stuy, you know, kicking all that, they got the International African Street Festival, all that shit, and I was never invited to that? How? That's bullshit. Or Dance Africa? You guys hate us. And then they try to say it's because of me. How is it? How? I give an example, right? They like to say Mr. Trump has felonies, which he does. That's not the judgment. I don't have any. As much as people want to try, I don't have a felony. I'm not an admitted drug trafficker like some of your heroes. So you can't put a cross on my back. No, you're racist. Why you want to co-op? Because this is what they want to do. Because this, let me show you. See, I don't play with these niggas. See, this is what it is, right? You see this? This is from the library here. You see this? This is a religious happening. But what does it say? They put a black woman in the front. You see lighter skinned people in the back. And they call it Celebrating Hispanic Heritage. That's it right there. Once I developed that, I became a threat to people because all the not-for-profits, those are all non-black people doing that. So here I come throwing a monkey wrench because I'm the real deal. Aichando. You're not finna school me about no fucking, I forget her name. I remember I used to be in one of these joints, and this is something straight in my crib. That's what I'm saying. Again, anti-black Haitian racism coupled with using our culture. That's what I'm dealing with. That's why they're mad. The fact that I'm saying that I'm proud to be black and I understand the culture. See, the African American knows that politically. I know it politically and culturally. That while a Hispanic does. That's why I saw TikTok, the Cuban lady say, oh, we're way more African than you. Yeah, they practice the religion. This is an advantage. While the African American, for the most part, doesn't. But they can't do that to me. So when they do that to me, I'm like, yo, you can't. That's why DJ Effin, the thief, who works with Nori, he made that jingle Coming Home where he went to Peru, this and that, making the connection between African and Hispanic and hip-hop. He stole that from me. And I actually went to FIU because there's a campus on, I don't know, FIU or FAU. I think it's FIU. There's a campus that was by my grandmother's house in Miramar, by the field that I walked to, and I gave somebody the paper. So of course, shit travels. Just like your boy Professor Small, it traveled with him. See, that's what it is. See, and that's why, again, that's why you hate Puff Daddy, because he's a hip hop person doing it, and you're mad. You've been mad, and I believe that he is consistently attacked spiritually, and this time, because the contradiction is too great. But let me see. But see, I've been doing. Look at this. Now all of a sudden you want to ride the wave. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not letting nobody ride the wave, Mr. Sharpton. All of a sudden now you want to have marches on African burial ground. And that's what I'm saying. There's an African spirit in New York that I was always a part of. That's why I created is hip hop and African religion. And it's been there before hip hop. It created hip hop. And it's been there since when? The same Marcus Garvey, 1920, since then. That's why when the people trying to delineate, say, oh, he had to go to Jamaica, blah, blah. And you don't see their face. These are people who aren't intact with it, who want to attack it because they can't do it. That's the problem. But then they got hypocrites like Professor Small who wants to do the same thing. He would be like, African American is my geopolitical position. I'm not giving that to nobody. But then you African Americans are making books on Haiti. And then in the back, what does it say? What does it say? It says, hold on. It says, afterward, what does it say? Professor James Small, El Haj Amin Al-Shahid, Baba Lorisha of Oya, Kenneth Sudas Ila Aruba of Trinidad, Tobago, the West Indies. That's it right there. So everybody wants to practice the African religion, but doesn't want the Haitian to do it. That's fine. But then you want to steal my style. And I'm like, nah. Same in my family. My cousin is from Trinidad. He want to be bookman. He want to be everything. But then the rest of my family want to diss me for him. That's anti-black Haitian racism. Now, but something I've been tapped into because look, again, this is the African burial ground. I was there when it was discovered in 1992. Actually went with Stuyvesant. We went there, right? And this is from 2004. Africans in the Americas. See, I'm tapped in. When he tapped in, look. Shout out to my man, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, September 22, 2004. Ironically, September 22 is also a great day in Haitian history. And you know why? Not that you know. You know why? Because that was when Papa Doc François Duvalier was elected. And speaking of that, again, riding my wave, that bum-ass nigga barbecue. Après, on m'a entendu qu'on a fait discours de François Duvalier. Ça, qu'on est de François Duvalier. All of a sudden, niggas want to talk about Papa Doc. After they demonized it for how many years? Tell the boss. Yo, everybody calling someone même qui mette François Duvalier sous moon. This is the remix, nigga. Papa Doc and Selassie. Fais-moi parler de ça. You know what I'm saying? You keep talking about neck, tech gun, nigga. Take me by gun. I'm black. I'm blacker than you. You look Arab. Talking to Barbecue. The Barbecue dude that all of a sudden becomes a rapper. He's on television. Everybody knows him. Again, because of the fact that I feel as if mass media does not want to give me a platform because I will take everything. I transcend all lines. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a native New Yorker. You cannot automatically class me as racist. I've never been a fake revolutionary like these cats. And shout out to Nasla too. I want to finish that too, to piggyback on that, because she was always positive. She's from the Stye. And you know, Bed-Stuy is supposedly the black spot in Brooklyn, which is directly connected to Harlem. And I was always there, like I was always in Harlem, because there's always been a connection of Haiti and Harlem. Captain Dunham, your boy who started Ayatunji Village. These are all people, Zora Neale Hurston, these are all people who studied Haiti. And I was tapped into that. Now I see that. So how was I never involved or asked to come fuck with me? No, because they want to exploit me. They think that this, again, the same way, the same sentiment that got Jovenel Moïse killed. As soon as I stop letting people steal from me, like for example, write their papers and this, because I'm gifted, they turned on me. African Americans, they turned on me. Now they want to do it on the slide. Now it's like, I have no views, but everybody all seem to be doing what I do. How? So President Jovenel Moïse tried to stop that because the Arabs in Haiti and others have people with no lights and take the money, and he tried to stop that, and they say that they killed it. I don't know who, and that's another. And that's but I want to say this too. That I'm not putting that cross on my back either, because he was here. He didn't holler at me. I've been here 9 years, baby. I've been here because they uprode against President Jovenel Moïse 6th, 7th, 8th July 2018. He died 3 years later. He could have hollered at me. People who know, I'm here. I'm not hiding. Everybody knows why. And like I said, including Trump. I'm in Trump's Tivoli Garden, Richard. Y'all hear me? I'm not putting that cross on my back. However, the sentiment of stopping corruption and exploitation of black Haitians. I feel that. That's happening to me intellectually. And so, fuck that. Like, that shit happen. Like, how does that happen? And people are supposed to just like, oh, they got a movie about that? Excuse me, about that? That's bullshit. Nobody's saying anything? Nah, that's wrong. But yeah, so I seen Nas, yeah, so that's something, that's the star connection, how I knew. And I saw her always positive, and then and I saw her son is a scholar at Schaumburg, big her up. Because guess what? I always used to be at the Schaumburg too. What you mean? Always. In Harlem. I was always in Harlem. Always. Doing positive things as far as the community. So if Mom Donnie's elect, that's your fault, black people. These black, and I don't want to say it's the older people who want to. I'm seeing it in my own family, my own mom, my own dad. People would, they're gonna stop this. They simultaneously try to stop you while trying to steal your style for themselves. Right? And I also want to give a shout out to Mike Colombo, Italian American from Brooklyn, who used to be my cousin, my uncle's friend, best friend, good friend, looking out for me. I didn't even talk to him 2-3 minutes. He used to be at my grandmother's house all the time. He already know. He's telling me about how people used to come visit and how they used to talk about how people like Charlie Rangel, who recently died, used to have businesses in Haiti. See, this is what has been revealed to me, is the fact that my grandfather's home, I was a target. Like I said in my Get Money freestyle, I was a target from when it was announced that the Barclays Center was being built. So as opposed to bringing me in as an entrepreneur, as a native New Yorker, as a hip hop artist, I was denied an opportunity. That's why you got Mom Donnie right now about to win. Because you hated on your own. New York, black people, period. So now all that shit, I don't want to hear none of that shit. Like, I'll give you an example, right? So Mom Donnie comes up and, the Democratic Party trying to ride the wave, right? Which they're gonna do, which I'm like, I definitely don't want him. But at the same time, what am I supposed to say? You built, it's wicked though. Because again, biting my whole style. Even, like I said, the progressive liberal is full of shit. Even like I said, a dude next door I know, unless he's the worst. Bit my whole shit and then wants to stand next to. Listen, dog. I don't care about transvestites fucking using the bathroom, B. I don't care. And just the whole way he's framing his thing about, oh, we want free this, we want free. No, niggas don't want free nothing, bro. We got, listen, dog, listen, man. Listen, how many business plans, forming the court, listen, how many business plans you want me to pull out? I even got a Fugazi application from Abu Dhabi, dog. We don't care about, niggas don't want free shit. This is hip hop, bro. Listen, this is hip hop, B. You know what I'm saying? We about getting that paper, dog. That's what we about. We not about free shit. And that's the problem. It's like they want us to think like that while simultaneously getting corporate jobs. That's the problem. So while the progressive liberals want to tell us, oh, we want free shit, they getting corporate jobs off our shit, doing movies on hip hop, building complex. That's wrong. See, that's why Puff should be free. Because you're attacked. He's been, and that's about his personal shit, but a lot of the shit he's going through is because people don't like the fact that he's a black entrepreneur in the music business, period. It's both. It's been professional. It's been the fact that professional player hating and the fact he was making money off that shit. It's both. So shout out to Mike Colombo. And I want to give a shout out to Flash too. Nas's boy. We got to see, that's a perfect example. How is Jim Jones thinking that he's better than Nas? And I could talk about Nas. I can. Nas can't fuck with me. Nas is not a producer. He's a good writer. He's like Langston Hughes, a writer. He don't produce. He don't engineer. And I don't think he writes all that stuff too, because allegedly he didn't write all the stuff for Nigga. Dead Press helped him with that. And Jay Electronica. Sound like Jay Electronica, that first shit. Yeah. But how? Because, again, how was it that Jim Jones, and he likes to talk about, listen, you were on Sony, brother. You were on Sony. You could not do it. You had the whole machine like Nas. You're not a rapper. You are an actor playing a rapper. That's what you are. You're not a rapper. You're not, and that's what's manifesting itself to the era, which is why I'm here. I'm exactly what relative to the 90s right now. I take this off right now. I look just like I'm 20, 25 years old. Not 20. $25, $30. Yeah. So this is all due to anti-black Haitian racism towards me and anti-American. Because you think that Haitian people don't know me? How is it that, how is it that, like recently, the other day, this so-called DJ named Michael Brown, whatever, he's performing at Barclays. How? Because, and that's the thing why the Americans have to see this too, is the fact, and it goes for, that's why, even though, whatever you say about Trump, there are people who are American. I'm American. I was born here. Here, whatever, however you know, within the corporation, motherfucker, the U.S., I have a social security and a birth certificate. But what's happened is that foreign people from other countries have been able to, I don't know, through lobbying, elected officials, been able to establish, and it's all immigrants do that though. See, that's the fight. And I see in the Haitian community, that's why I'm going to fight too. That's why I see that. What they do is establish, right? They establish a microcosm of their nation here. And that's what I'm fighting. That's what I'm fighting. And I'm here, I can't fight. I'm going to have to fight it. Because to establish, that's why you'll get Michael Brown, who is not black. He is not black, African, phenotypically, not 70%. He's not even 20. He's Arab, clearly. How is he performing in Barclays as a DJ? He invented DJ from Haiti. He's clearly from that class. That class, they established and then they control the music, the Haitian music industry. All of those artists. Who the fuck who cares about Alicia Kavi? He's popping right. He's cracking right now. Compa crème. That's what I'm gonna compa douce. Compa crème. It's how I'm business today. This feel like they warring all over. See, it's the same thing as an American. People have a right to criticize foreign interests in the government, whether it's Israel, whether it's Iran, whether it's Haiti. And that's what it is. These people in Haiti, however, and it's not just, it's subconscious too. And they know that. I'm going to give you an example. So that's what I'm saying. So just do Michael Brown, he's performing at Barclays. How? And I haven't been to Haiti in 40 years. And I'm the rapper. Listen to the logic. I've been rapping for 40 years. Use their music, speak Creole in my shit, but Kanye West went to Haiti before me. Everything fat joke, like, how? It's a purposeful thing. But that's the thing, you want to be purposeful and diss me? I'm going to diss you too. I'm supposed to just sit here, but nah. And you guys are pussy too. You don't want it with me. I'll go around telling you don't want it. The only person you let in as an American is Stax. Stax is trash. What you gonna play? Chocolat by Zen? Like I said. So he performs at Barclays while a movie about the president dying comes out. And niggas is just sitting here like, yo, that shit is racism if you don't like it. It's samamti. And the thing is, don't put that cross on my back as if, again, I won't tear your ass up on the microphone and on the stage too. But they do it with the complicity of people from Haiti here who are anti-American, like King Keno, not no King Keno, or and Wyclef, non-American citizens who have sway over the Democratic Party. See, that's, again, anti-black Haitian racism, anti-Americanism. The mulattoes in Haiti, niggas like Wyclef. Wyclef, Sweet Mickey. But they're not American. I am. But they have sway over the government here. They're able to establish businesses here, and they do. That's why the government. Listen, Americans don't have this. Look at this. Look at this. Fueling growth together. Listen to this. Since 2010, U.S. Immigration Fund has partnered with premier real estate developers to deliver innovative financing solutions through the EB-5 program. With a proven track record of aligning foreign investment with developments, we streamline the process to ensure timely capital deployment and project success. Discover how our expertise and tailored approach can elevate your next project to new heights. $3 billion in project funding. U.S. Immigration Fund. But I couldn't do that with a home that my grandparents owned for 30 years. And they and the Haitians were a part of that because they were aligned with the developer at that time. That I had to discover. How did I discover that? You know, let me. I don't want to get too deep, but I don't want to get too. Did I give a shout out to my boy Flash, the Nigerian? Shout out to you, bro. That's how I talked about Nas. Yeah. Right? So immigrants, I mean now, Greenland, the development, the Pacific Park development became a Chinese development. And then Joseph Tsai had the nerve when the guy from the Houston Rockets said something about Taiwan to tell him Chinese sovereignty is non-negotiable. That's wrong. That's bullshit. And then I can't get a job at Barclays or a loan at the bank or I can't go to Haiti and get a job or I can't perform at Barclays, but Michael Brink can? That's wrong. It is. It doesn't have to do with it doesn't even have, it's just common sense. Wait, so I'm here, I have a college degree, blah, 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 work ethic, everything, blah, 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 but then I can't do nothing but a motherfucker got a U.S. immigration, and I'm supposed to be happy about that shit? Nah, I'm not happy about that shit. And they want to diss too. Them Haitian niggas be trying to diss. They can't diss me. They can't. They don't want none of this on the microphone. Yeah, that's why I'm with the people who think like that. Because at the end of the day, there is a commonality among people who are American that's philosophical too. Liberty, justice for all, blah, 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 all that shit. It's true. Even DI, all that. Yo, I don't, even in hip hop, these niggas is fucking DI hip hop like crazy. So, and no, listen. So I have that. I have all of that. Right? Property, build a stadium, education, rap, right? And then can't get down with that. And then I still can't get on the radio too. But the dude who owns Hot 97 and BLS went to my high school and he's an immigrant. And he runs Bally's. He's chairman of Bally's now. It's Sue Kim. It's an injustice, bro. It's an injustice. It's racist and anti-American, both. Pick your poison. Yeah, clearly. But let's see, what else we want to touch on? But the thing about it is, too, is the fact that, and the thing is, again, clearly it's an agenda. Because I'll give you an example, right? This is Time Magazine. Time Magazine dated August 2010 after the Haitian earthquake. It says Haiti, hail to the hip hop president. So that means the concept of hip hop and politics is come on, right? And what do you see here? Of course, you see Wyclef. Yeah, look, Wyclef. Once again, so the concept of Haitian, not even just Haitian, hip hop, which is it's been there. Even your boy Puff, Citizen Change and blah 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 and this. But then the person again with Mamdani now, everybody wants to be that, but what's up with your boy? Why? They want to put a cross on my back and say it's because of me. No, I'm not having that. I'm gonna take an example, right? Dude went to my college, Puerto Rican cat. And again, like I said, the reason why I'm comfortable saying these type of things, because again, I have 5 email addresses, brother. I have 5 email addresses. I'm always reaching out to people, but people be trying to diss. So now it's like, you know what? You deserve Trump. And whatever he do. But big up Trump too. And even just the approach, because like I said, you stealing my shit, dissing me. And then it's the approach too. It's like, for example, like on any level, like I'm saying, like, you know, I'm moving around, but let me focus. Let me write down what I'm, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying Trump. All right. Because it's both. I do feel as if, again, it is my approach. I'm not, you see I got 5 email addresses, multiple business, everything I have here, multiple business plans, work ethic, as opposed to what you see that Mamdani is preaching, free this, blah blah that, for free. That's not me. But it seems as if the people in power who support him, they want that type of sentiment to be espoused. Clearly. And I don't have that mentality. I just don't. It's hip hop. Yo, boom, boom. I started like, that's how I started. I had nothing. I had nobody. If you see, again, if you see my, from my demo, from this to this, nobody did hardly anything for me. Except my mom financed it and it paid off dividends for her, even though she tried to front. Who went out there? I did. My father didn't go out. You think he went to the club? You think he gave me a beat? You think he talked? The nigga didn't even want to let you fucking drive his car. You think he didn't? I was doing that. I did everything. Reverse engineered it, went to the studio, wrote the rhymes, all of it, me. Distributed it. That's why I could do it now. That's why I'm self-contained, independent, but I'm not independent to be exploited though. They don't want that approach. I was always proactive. Always. Even in school, people have done for me. Yeah, maybe somebody gave me a B+ when I deserved a B or whatever. All type of, mostly white people too. White people. Shout out to, professors, etc. But they always got something too. Now I notice. being associated with me because I was always a cool dude from the black community, which is something. Don't let anybody fool you. It's something. But when I went to like college, for example, I automatically got into Brooklyn College because my SAT was above a score. I got into high school because my thing was a score. Look, even now, you think, look at this. People don't like me. They say people don't like people. There are people who like me. Let me not say that, but people are envious of me. People know, and that's what I learned too. If you're intelligent, people don't teach you things on purpose because they know you know. I noticed that with my family, people around me. They don't teach you, especially if they know you know. And one of the things I know is how to learn. So when you're surrounded by people like that, you have to be proactive. Nobody don't want to do shit for you. And I've done that. So, but that's the mentality people don't want others to have, right? But it's okay. But then don't do that when I work and do my things, spend time in the library and do this, and you stealing my shit, and then you fucking want to hate on me? That's wrong. So let me give you an example. This dude, right, went to my college. Again, 5 email addresses, multiple business cards, books. You see I got books and this, blah, 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 all around and all this. That's what I do. Reach out to people because, again, when you're in the bit, just as far as business politics, you got to know how to shake hands and kiss babies, correct? So I have to have some type of decorum, and that's 101. Think and grow rich, pleasing personality. 7 habits of highly successful people. You have to have some type of decorum, some type of... Now, the problem with that is that but here's the problem. People will judge your decorum based on hating. And that I'm not accepting. So they'll accept one thing from another person and not from another. And I'm like, nah, chill. So they'll diss Puff and then love Jay-Z. That's wrong. When they together going like this, and then you want to say, oh no, Jay, and I'm gonna talk about that. Let me write that down too, because we're gonna talk about that, because you know I'm gonna touch on that, right? I'll probably finish with these 3. Let me see how I can finish with these 3, right? Boom. So to give an example of what I'm talking about, anti-black Haitian racism that I've been feeling again in my own family. Like, again, that's a perfect example of, like I said, people accepting one thing from another. So they have this guy named Michel Martelly, guy who's always drunk. Let me not say he's always drunk. I drink too, which is a habit that's in the Haitian community, but it's not he's always drunk. I want to say that even if he's drunk, I've seen people say she be drunk, right? He do some shit, and then people online will be like, oh, you know how he is when he gets drunk. But me, they'll call me something like Caca Clairin. He'll go there and say, get my mom, this everybody. He'll be like, oh, you know, Mickey Bala Caca. Me, like, ou pas bien élevé, you're not raised right. That's the dichotomy in the Haitian community, and it's based on race. And I'm not accepting it, consciously or subconsciously, from nobody. And one of the biggest things, again, oof, you crazy. When Elon Musk want to go to the motherfucking moon, blow shit up, he's a genius. Me, I want to do something different, oofu, which is crazy in Creole. But that's based on a racial self-hatred perception that people have, and I'm not accepting that. If I'm not supposed to accept that from white people, so-called white people, how am I gonna accept that from? See, that's the problem in the black community. Period. Right now, you want to go around and tell white people all this shit about how they racist this, and inside in your community is bullshit going on. The kids are horribly behaved. People act savagely towards each other, mad disrespectful. Women talk any way they want and that shit is accepted. And you expect people to give you reparations because what? Because you said fuck you? Like that, like karmically, universally, that's not gonna work, bro. So to give you an example of what I'm talking about, that people on this, which is again, part of it is because of the culture, because being in hip hop, which is now 30, I made my first demo tape in 1992. But I've been performing before that. That's why I call myself Don King on the mic from 1989. Even though I was performing, the picture I showed you, that was from 84. At a Haitian radio station when I was doing a song by Tabu Kumbo, another haters. They're a perfect example of the savagery of Haitians, self-hatred. So Chibot, he'll like Michael Byrne and then try to diss me, his black ass. Black ass Chibot trying to fucking probably caca them and then love Michael Byrne. Tundiskid, why you asses in Benin, Africa? Probably because that mulatess, Dorothy Desir, heard my shit sampling you and thought that was a good idea. That's racism. Buckling. Now, and it's like a reverse psychology. It's like you have a wife, you have a good-looking girl, you don't want your good-looking girl to fuck with anybody, right? You say, bitch, sorry about that. You say, yo, nobody likes you. You slap them around. Meanwhile, she bad. It's like yesterday I was over here and somebody was talking to me and was like, man, you need to take off your beard. You're a handsome dude. Oh, you're in shape. But if I go in my crib, talk to my parents or whoever, my family, it's like I'm the worst thing in the world. Everybody hates you. I'd be like, yo, how? Oh, they gonna kill you. I'm like, oh yeah? How? Yeah. But that's the reverse psychologies of black racism. Of anti-black Haitian racism. Because if I look a little bit light-skinned, I'd be the fucking president of Haiti right now. And it's like low-key I am. When I talk, it's like even with the Jamaicans. Who the fuck the Jamaicans listen to? Shaggy? Eddie. Like, wow, go on, Eddie. What Eddie have to say? Yeah, but we're going to get that in a minute. So, example of what I'm talking about of really is part of co-opting the culture. Because you don't even, you know how many people have ate off hip hop without knowing? But it's like wicked. It's like, it's like Hispanics have reggaeton. It's not that. It's like, yo, we want the black people to love us now. We want to take over. That's why Fat Joe, which I've discussed, that's why Fat Joe had the audacity to say shit was 50-50. Because it's like, man, yo, these niggas, yo, how dare you niggas not like us? That's the attitude they got, bro. And I'm not taking that. Because that's anti-me. Because it's like, well, if you want to come in your shit, why can't I go in reggaeton and all that shit? Because that's really what it is. It is the fact that they know if I go in they shit, mommies is going to love this. They know that. They know if the moreno, if Negro Fuerte, Aitando Negro Fuerte goes in fucking Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, nigga, shit gone. El Africano. Word. That's why they mad. Even in Haiti, they know that. I go to Haiti, you hating. Anti-American. An American, an international American, which is why it's the problem. Because New York, it just make logical sense. So New York is both sides. Like New York, they always say it's immigrants. You're right. So that means it's what? It's fucking international. So you mean to tell me, so there's no rapper who grew up in New York who's international? Who is it? Jay-Z? Jay-Z don't speak no other language, but his music is not international. That's why that bum ass Michael Rappaport was like, oh, he doesn't like a world music. Who cares what you like? And it's an American city, and I'm both. I'm a September 11th nigga, and I'm international. So this is how they hate this bum. Listen, So this bum, yeah, like I said, I reach out. I got mad emails. Yo, it's so fun. Sometimes you be calling people, they be mad. Like, I'll be like, yo, why are you mad? I'm just hitting you up to see what's up. Like, it's like, oh, they mad like you made it, or like, I'm like, what's the problem? Oh, you wanted me to die. So I hit the dude up, right? And he be fronting. Again, playing that Hispanic role. He Puerto Rican. He don't need the God. They doing it. Niggas had Despacito and they thought Cardi B was gonna do her thing. But then what the hip hop music industry is feeling now, which was happening with Puff Daddy in a sense, is that the hip hop music industry is insular. So Puff Daddy tried to kind of like, which fucked them up, all of them, which is what they've been doing, but it was a limit. They've all been reacting to what was going on outside. You think Jay-Z started talking about, even now, you think that Beyonce doing Cowboy Carter is because she's reacting to what's going on outside. I've been in the country for 9 years. When I first came down here, she was doing Lemonade. She wasn't doing no Cowboy Carter nothing. She reacting to what's going on outside. Same with Jay-Z. All of a sudden, first it was shit is garbage. Then he trying to drop knowledge. Now he doing 444. He's reacting, but trying to convince people. Same as Puff Daddy. Same thing that happened to him. He was doing it a lot too. That's why they always. But that's why you got away, but you put it on yourself when he was kissing that bum ass Jay Electronica ass. Like he conscious. And you let the nigga, you actually let the nigga diss us on a song called The Ghost of Christopher Wallace. That's what Puff Daddy did. Because you want to react to what's going on to keep your spot. Just like I think he's trying to start a political party. And even Revolt TV, like Sharpton gave y'all that. You used the politics of the Obama era to be able to get that. That's what happened. That's how you got Revolt. Everybody knows that. So you're doing it, but there's a limit because the people, I don't know who saw like, oh, which is not wrong, which is, your alleged behavior was too extreme, which you mean to tell me they didn't know you were doing all of that? Whatever they said you were doing, because I wasn't following. I don't follow like that. I said that in my previous joint. But now they wanted to use that against you, which didn't work in their favor because again, they've been no matter what, they've been riding your wave. How many people bad boy see, that's what I'm saying. When I say Puff, when Biggie say Puff Daddy, Big Small Junior Mafia, Puff Daddy, Big Small Junior Mafia, he talking about me too. I'm from that era. I know about that. I know that wave. I know that energy. I know that wave that everybody rode, including Jay-Z, including these ungrateful people like Cameron. They all rode that wave. He should get respect he gets my same way how like KRS One, like, oh, if you do hip hop, you're guided and protected. So Puff Daddy's not guided and protected because he could dance and you can't. It's that envy of the energy of hip hop, wanting to be it, but then trying to hide it based on racism. I mean, try to hide it. But really can't because you're racist. But then the contradiction bites you in your ass. But now we calling it out. I'm calling it out. Oh no, you niggas is racist. And I'm telling everybody, no, watch this nigga racist. And I'm the example. I want all the African Americans who's mad, all of Americans who's mad to say, hey, why is Mom Donnie winning? Because of me, because they was fucking with me. I'm telling you, because they didn't fuck with me. Why? Because they anti-American and anti-black Haitian racist. Let me give you the example. It's not just that, and it's a Democratic agenda. Like I said, how the fuck Wyclef, an immigrant with no paper, he's This ain't hail to the hip-hop president, but then me, born here, degree in political science, degree in black studies like Mom Donnie, real rapper from Biggie's neighborhood, producer, rapper, all of that. Everything you want to talk about, but I never was given the opportunity. That's anti-American and racism. Black racism. Boom. It could be both, of course. Again, you think only white people could be racist? Now, I'll give you an example. So this dude, again, went to my college. Try to holler at him, my friend. Right? Let me tell you how I got with him. Not got with him. I did a movie at the school. Dude was doing a movie. Dominican dude. Right? Did a little part in the movie. I played like a Jamaican cat. Did that shit. I'm hearing that every time our part comes on, it's a standing ovation. People telling me that shit. Other people in the movie, right? He wins an award for it. Best something, something, something. I try to get a fucking copy of it. He would not give me a copy. Somehow, I'm talking about even my that shit was playing everywhere. Even my landlord at the time in my building came up to me and was like, yo, I saw you in a movie, brethren. I'm like, word, right? Barely wanted to give me a copy of the DVD. Shit is called El Bandito. I got it now. You can look that up on IMDb. Got a credit. Eddie Petit, yeah. I am El Bandito, 2005. Right? Think nothing of it. This dude wanted me to be in his next movie so bad, the nigga stood outside of my house waiting for me to come out. You see that? That's how much people know you. He stood across the street waiting for me to come outside. Because I lived, like I said, I lived on my block. I lived on an ill block. My block had 2 train stations right now. Right? That's how much. Next dude was in the movie too, Puerto Rican cat. And you got to know people history too. He wanted to be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? And as a matter of fact, he wrote for the school paper. And let me show you how I get down to it. This is school paper. Let me see. This is school paper. And just to show you how I do this. Now watch this. And we'll talk about this too. It says, look, time for the hip-hop game to change. Time to change the hip-hop game by Eddie Petit. This is a article that I wrote. School paper. Right? Article I wrote for the school paper. And what's the date of the paper? September 10, 2001. You talk to me, boy. You're talking to. You see that? In 2001, the day before September 11th, I'm writing that. But why I bring this up too, because I'm going to show you. Watch. So that's how, and there's another bum-ass nigga who's in this shit too I got to talk about too. Who try to play too. Dude named Carl Cherry. I know all y'all. Carl Cherry. You know what I'm saying? Carl Cherry, who now runs Spotify. Carl Cherry, you was writing about what you look, Diary of a Mad Band. You was writing about somebody in Canada. Now you're supposed to be the head of hip hop at Spotify. See? See, this is September 10th, right? And this is me writing an article about hip hop and politics. Let me start. It goes, hip hop. It was about hip-hop, a culture developed by poor and disenfranchised people of African descent, has now become the dominant cultural art form of the entire world. Despite its criticism, hip-hop's primary medium music is utilized in every single genre of culture, scorn, blah, blah, blah. Many would argue that hip-hop's global, however, this is not true. It is widely known that outside America, there's a deeper appreciation for the history of hip-hop and a greater emphasis for the artistic genius exhibited by its ghetto superstars. Unlike the case with corporate America, the artists are loved for their creativity and originality as they realize that an artist's worth cannot be measured solely by record sales. That's just the beginning. Hold on. Oh, this one is L. You see how I just brought this out? Watch this. So anyway, so I'm bringing this to show you that this is me at the school. 2001. Now, the dude who did the movie didn't work at the school, but a next dude did. Not work at the paper, the next dude did, right? So that's how I knew him. And he wanted to rap. He was writer and kind of like that dude, Markman, who tried to steal Parkside Freestyle. You want to wear a polo, you want to wear Parkside Freestyle. Parkside is my neighborhood. Parkside between Ocean Avenue and Flatbush. I'm probably the only Haitian who used to be over there at a time where everybody was listening to reggae in the 90s. People getting shot, all type of stuff. That's where I developed my style for you to come in and steal it, try to steal it. And that's why you had to change the pictures in the back from Mac Miller to Little Kim and Life After Death, but you're not from that era. And just to show that, this dude, Markman, he was talking about how he bought Ready to Die 2 for $20 at Beach Street. What a joke. In 94? You see, that's why I talk for the Puerto Ricans. I grew up around Puerto Ricans. You don't represent them correctly. You're capping, you're lying. It's so funny that I remember my boy DJ Heck. Shout out to him, his fam. Shout out to Blaze, everybody. I remember seeing him after he bought the vinyl for Ready to Die. So you cap and try. See, that's what's wrong with the hip hop today. But see, a lot of that is based on, again, you're able to climb the corporate ladder, like I said, because non-black people were able to consolidate themselves within hip hop, bro, and only fuck with each other, and they know that. All of the Hispanic writers, like Osorio, like Mimi Valdez, who worked at One World. Now, I'm gonna show you. So the dude who worked there, Puerto Rican dude, I'm gonna call him D. Whatever, blah, blah, blah. Moved on. And there's other stories I could tell about Brooklyn College too, but such as how, again, like Sarah Alamanawi, who works at Def Jam, same thing. I was always around, but they never gave the plug while they became corporate. See, it's the plug. That's how you see, for example, like Immortal Technique on 106 & Park. How the fuck Immortal Technique was on 106 & Park? Or the biggest example is Thurston Howell III, Puerto Rican. He was on MTV because the Puerto Rican niggas always give him the plug, as opposed to a brother like me. And of course, I'm as nice as him, even if I wasn't. Or like, for example, homeboy Sandman, who's Dominican. And it goes to this, that's what I'm saying. That's why I tell you, the dude who lived next door to me named Che, he worked at MTV. I tried to do a couple freestyles, but I had to pull teeth. I met him before the earthquake. I had to pull teeth from him to do 2 joints. Why? Because he wants to be me. But then at the same time, and then they support the Hispanic politics, like I say in the Get Money freestyle. Che Guevara, Fidel Castro, blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. But then when it started to become more black after what? The election of Obama, right? Then it should have been like, all right, boom, let's fuck with you now. And then even after the earthquake, it wasn't like that. After the earthquake, that's when Danny Castro of Lyricist Lounge hollered at me after 300,000 people died. But still, that didn't even somebody who's friends of my family who always had the plug. Then they finally gave me a show. Found a show to give me. Meanwhile, their kids' godfather is a rapper. They're plugged into that whole Hispanic, white, non-black scene in New York that I always knew about. That's why I stayed around them, because I knew that was the play. Because it was a split between when Bad Boy got big. That's why I never didn't diss Bad, because I know they were dissing Bad Boy because they were doing things they couldn't do. Because they couldn't do Juicy and then do Unbelievable. Meaning Juicy a pop hit and Unbelievable a super MC. See, that's the blueprint. That's why they got mad. You giving me club bangers and then this nigga ripping the microphone and I'm in the same cloth. So why would they want to give me, who was in that same cloth after that? Perhaps Jay-Z. But Jay-Z had to, again, use the bad boy formula. Now, so this dude, whatever. The point is that years later, again, but see, that's what it is. But I still reach out to people, boom, boom, network. Nobody want to fuck with the God. For whatever reason. But silently, they want to compete. They following your joint. What you do. So after all of these things that's been going on with the politics and the political turmoil and black this, blah, 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 he sees that's the trend. So then he want to holler at the God now. He want to talk now. But still with an air of like, oh, I got a master's like you, or you don't really, you're the reason why your behavior is why nobody fuck with you. I'm like, nah, it's because you fucking racist. And as a matter of fact, just to show you, I remember I did an article which I'll show about Eminem when he first came out. They denied to publish it in the school paper because it was criticizing him. Just like homeboy, what's his name? Sunez. Anti-black racism. George Martinez. Been like that. And that's what I'm calling out. That's what I'm calling out. I mean, they say that the people who killed Jovenel Moise, they planned it in Dominican Republic. And that's to disrespect the Dominican Republic people because Luis Abinader, the president, he's not mestizo, which is Dominican as far as Taino, close to Arawak and Indian. He's Lebanese. But he's doing it within their name. And he probably thinks he could do it because he could, like that, they could get away with it because, again, they have the sentiment of anti-black Haitian racism that they foment. That continues. But then now I see people who participated in that, now they want to act like they black. And that's why I got to call people out like, yo, like the ZP, like y'all niggas let Jim Jones is a product of that. Who do you think supports him? Or Joe Budden? So this dude, but that's what I'm saying, he comes back. But then when he's going to holler at me, D, he knows my whole history. Oh, I remember you wrote hip hop as African religion. Or I remember 20 years ago. But I'm like, yo, how come you never hollered at me since then? That's the problem. And that's why you have Mamdani right now. But again, that's coupled with the fact that the African American community never wanted to embrace me. Because I was seen as, again, Sharpton and whoever. Even like Spike Lee. You think Spike Lee from 4th grade? Listen, bro. You think he don't know who I am? Let me tell you something. After I did my Michael Jackson podcast, and again, everything I say, you can go on blackpresident.com, BlackPresidon.com. Everything I say is corroborated with my work that I released. Podcast in 2009, my blog in 2009, my blog talk show, video, music, all independent, all within the till the freestyle last year, the Get Money freestyle. 15 years of work, independent, that corroborate with my stories of what I'm saying. So it's not I'm not saying anything like, oh yeah, this ain't Tutti Frutti, Little Richard. No, I got new shit, and that's what we're gonna have to cut it short, but. We're going to discuss that, which is really what I was talking about, how people still want to try to create this narrative of like, for example, really what it is this dude who's the program director from Hot 97 who he wrote some type of tweet talking about Hove, Jay-Z, impact will be felt for generations, referring to some type of political aspect. I'm like, what are you still trying to create that narrative? Dude. That's why hip-hop is the way it is. But see, that's what that's the play. Them niggas use he's like their God. I stand next to Jay-Z for cultural credibility, and then I try to push my agenda. Because I'm sure they want, Mamdani was on their show. But I'm like, yo, nah, that's not true. You got rocked. You're a liberal. You got rocked. and exposed. Trump done on the blood clot. Done on them. You can say, I bet you after that Mamdani shit, native New Yorkers fuck with Trump. Clearly, that's what he is. And we're gonna talk about this too. And it's not. And the thing about it is, it's not like they always want to. Any criticism of Jay-Z is like hate. It's not hate, but it's reality. We speaking reality, bro. He said, game to the last. We're speaking reality. Let me show you. See, a picture's worth 1,000 words. And when I saw this again, and that's why we're gonna get our story out. But then we're not giving freebies no more, bro. I mean, we're giving freebies, but we need to take this. The fact that I'm not taking this to a next level as far as the breadth and scope of what I'm doing. That's a racial injustice that I'm not gonna tolerate, bro. And I'm not gonna tolerate you trying to change the narrative. That's what you want to do. You know, even in the aftermath of what happened with Puff, Daddy, Puff. You gotta humble yourself. Like, you don't even want to talk about that. You want to try to take the narrative and talk about Hove, because that makes you look better. Oh, now let's talk about Hove and his impact. What that's ridiculous, bro. How about we talk about how for the past 10 years since Bobby Shmurda got indicted December 2014 to Puff Daddy getting indicted and arrested 2024, the legal and political, problems that have beset the hip-hop generation. Why are we not talking about that? No, but we want to talk about Hove. Because you want to talk about yourself. I'm talking about the program director of Hot 97. Him I'm talking about. You're arrogant, condescending. You think you know politics. You don't. You lost. Trump done on them. Hove can't save you. Bobby, and you just had this, and it's so funny. I was gonna talk about now you want to stand next to Bobby. Same thing. He's a perfect example. How the fuck a nigga with a AM radio show, top of the dial, who don't rap, is a hip hop legend, and I'm not. Racism. And you want to create the now? No. See, that's why like I said, I'm tapped into the fabric of New York. I've seen it too since I've been here. And I'm the one who wrote that. The essence of what created hip hop. The opposition that, the narrative that people want to always try to run with. Oh yeah. In the midst of this and that, I was telling a dude yesterday. Yeah, I was born when Howard Cosell panned the camera right and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, the Bronx is burning." Where was you at? I was there. And that's what it is. And that's why they hate Puff Daddy. Because he's a native New Yorker. See, this is about the native New Yorkers. If I say channel 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 21, 25, 31, 41, 47, 54 with Bobby Simmons and the girl, I forget her name, nigga, you're not fucking with me. You from San Francisco? That's why you sitting there that's why you look crazy sitting there. That's why you gotta stand next to academics and people who not from the cloth. But it's just annoying because you're trying to push this political agenda that's destroying the city and anti-hip hop. All these indictments, all this thing going on. No, we're supposed to say the generational impact of Hove. Let me show you what happened. You see, picture worth 1,000 words. Let me show you know what happened? Let me show you what happened. See, when I left, it was hard for me to leave New York. It was difficult, but I knew it was time for a change because what was going on was ridiculous. Again, I have all the credentials that this dude has. But because I don't want to juxtapose get money with transvestite bathroom shit that they give a platform to. Like a literal dude who's a transvestite came to Flatbush, started talking about gentrification, and then he was getting platforms at the Brooklyn Museum. What the fuck is that? That's bullshit. I'm like, yo, what? And I'm living, and gentrification is something I'm living. I lived it through my grandparents' house. I lived it through my apartment across the street from the park. And then they were building a huge development behind my building, 626 Flatbush. I lived it there. And I was still on the block holding it down, going through the city. And I didn't have to. I could have left. Where I am right now, my crib right now, where I'm at, is almost 20 years old now. But I left 9 years ago. And then I'm even watching PBS and they talk about, oh, Flatbush gentrification, you know, we need to build gay housing. See? That's wrong. You're stealing my style that I, again, see, bled for. And I'm supposed to just be, that's the same thing, that's that Jovenel Moïse shit. So even if I'm trying to do things for my own, that's the thing. Even when I'm, so even if I'm not begging you for something, I'm trying to do something for my own, you still want to take my shit? The fuck, that shit is like, yo, what is this? That's why I have to be American. I have to be like, yo, like, is this America, yo? And I'm feeling that even in my own home. It's like, shh, no, let us exploit you. No, go on the computer all day and write on Facebook so we can read and then act like we're not getting it from you. No. I'm like, it's like, oh no, you go around talking about Papa Doc and all of that, and then let barbecue steal that shit and start talking about that shit. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a good talk. Didn't cover everything. But we're gonna go further. But see, you could write the narrative all you want. You can say whatever happened and who, this generation, this, blah, 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 impact. So, your man, Jay-Z, he endorsed Hillary Clinton. What happened? Lost. And you know what they call that? Nobody thought Trump was gonna win. There's a book called Fire and Fury about Trump. They say that was the most, excuse me for a minute.
The next booking is here for the room.
Okay, 2 minutes. Thank you. All right. Now, she says, it's the most extraordinary political storm since Watergate. That's what they called it. Lost. Endorsed the mayor, Ray McGuire, lost. They beat Trump with the help of a pandemic and George Floyd. Everybody went behind Kamala Harris and lost. And you keep talking about generational impact, we'll discuss it. But a picture's worth 1,000 words. You see, I left. When I left, this is what happened. Muhammad Ali died. Yeah. So I moved to Florida, where he had his greatest win. That's what this picture is based on. And what happened? It was funny. Who was on the cover then? Hillary Clinton. Did that happen when I moved here to Palm Beach? We'll discuss that. Peace.